Aina is where. So we have a particle to say where, and it's aina. Combine the min with aina. Min aina anta. Where are you from? Where are you from? Talking to a male singular. Min aina anti. Where are you from? Where are you from? Feminine singular. Ana min. I am from. You may remember a speaker in Arabic. There is no gender involved. It's neutral. A female and a male will say the same thing. I am. Ana min. I am from. Hal anta min. Remember? Hal. Without hal, you say anta min, meaning you are from. Hal anta min, are you from? So min ayna anta ya talib? Where are you from? Hal anta min Britania? Are you from Britain? Hal anta min London? Hal anti min Paris? Hal anti min Misr? Egypt? So you say Ana min London. Ana min Lebanon, and so on, Lebanon. Okay, revision. Min is from, aina is where. Min aina anta, min aina anti, ana min. Hal anta min. Okay, here we are, we have aina again. Aina mean where. Teskunu. This is the verb. Aina teskunu. Where do you live? Aina teskunu. Where do you live? If I'm asking same question to a lady, what's the ending again? The verb? Ina. Aina teskunina. Where do you live? That's feminine singular. Aina teskunu. Aina teskunina. Askunu fi. I live in. Askunu fi London. I live in London. A lady and a man would say the same thing as a speaker. No gender involved. Now, give you some geographic or direction, if you like. Gharb. Gharb. West. Sharq. East. Shamal. North. Janoob. South. Wasat. Central. Or the middle. So we can use hal to ask question. If I say askunu, I live in. Askunu fi Gharb London. I live in West London. How do you ask me the question to say, do you live in West London? You use hal. Hal تسكن في غرب لندن. I will say نعم أسكن في غرب لندن. Yes, نعم أسكن في غرب لندن. هل تسكنين, speaking to a lady now, هل تسكنين في شرق لندن؟ نعم أسكن في شرق لندن. Or you can say لا. No. ولكن أسكن, but I live in غرب London. So you start using the previous words and phrases that you already learned. So, أين تسكن؟ أين تسكنين؟ أسكن في غرب London, for example. Okay. Now, the next we're going to do is to actually practice this out from the beginning and see whether you can remember how to mix things up. For instance, how do you say, this is Faisal? هذا فيصل. هل هذه سارة؟ That's meaning, is this Sarah? نعم هذه سارة. Yes, this is Sarah. هل أنت فيصل? Are you فيصل? نعم أنا فيصل. هل أنت سارة؟ نعم أنا سارة. أين تسكنين؟ Where do you live? أسكن في لندن. وأنت أين تسكن؟ أسكن في بريطانيا. I live in Britain. فرصة سعيدة. فرصة سعيدة. تشرفنا. مع السلامة. إلى اللقاء. في أمان الله. On page 56, reading and writing practice with sukun. Now, you need to copy out each of the following words twice onto the lines provided and then practice reading aloud, then compare your reading to mine. Let's go. مفتاح مفتاح قفل قفل ممحات ممحات مقلمة مقلمة فطر فطر ملفوف ملفوف برتقال برتقال نجمة نجمة مخروط مخروط موشور موشور. Now note how I pronounce the waw with sukun as an ow sound. موشور موشور. مستطيل مستطيل. قلب قلب. Page 57. كأس كأس. Note how I pronounce the hamza with sukun as like a glottal stop. كأس كأس. جبنة جبنة. مشمش مشمش. موزة موزة. Wow with sukun sound ow. موزة موزة. سترة سترة. مذياع مذياع. مسطرة مسطرة. مضرب مضرب. ملعقة ملعقة. قهوة قهوة. بيض بيض. Note how I pronounce the ya with sukun sound I. بيض بيض. مكوات مكوات. Page 58 is dedicated to practice with the I and ow sounds. Remember, I is when you put sukun on the ya, and ow sounds is when we have sukun on the waw. Now there are two boxes on this page. On the right you have a purple box. Here you need to copy it out and join this group of letters, and it's numbered for you. on the left box, which is the green box, you have already joined words. You need to separate them into their individual letters. Now try to also read it aloud to yourself and compare your reading to my reading. Aydin, aydin. Beytun, beytun. Ceyşun, ceyşun. Khaylun, khaylun. Daynun, daynun. Veylun, veylun. Raybun, raybun. Zeytun, zeytun. Seyfun, seyfun. Şeyhun, şeyhun. Soyfun, soyfun. Doyfun, doyfun. Toyrun, toyrun. Aynun, aynun. Geyzun, geyzun. Seylun, seylun. Qaydun, qaydun. Keylun, keylun. Leylun, leylun. Meylun, meylun. Neylun, neylun. Heybetun, heybetun. Weylun, weylun. Yeyasu, yeyasu. Page 59. The box, the purple box, they are separate letters. You need to put them in a joined format as necessary. Left green box are already joined words. You need to separate them into their individual letters. Awladun, awladun. Bawnun, bawnun. Tawamun, tawamun. Thawrun, thawrun. Jawrabun, jawrabun. Hawdun, hawdun. Khawkhun, khawkhun. Dawman, dawman. Raw'atun, raw'atun. Zawraqun, zawraqun. Sawtun, sawtun. Shawkatun, shawkatun. Sawmun, sawmun. Daw'un, daw'un. Tawqun, tawqun. Awnun, awnun. Ghawsun, ghawsun. Fawran, fawran. Qawmun, qawmun. Kawkabun, kawkabun. Lawlabun, lawlabun. Lawzun, lawzun. Mawzun, mawzun. Nawmun, nawmun. Hawlun, hawlun. Yawmun, yawmun. Bismillah. Now, you are about to finish all the symbols that you need to know to be able to read and write Arabic. As I said, yeah, on our way to finish. So let's quick reminder. We have done Fatha, A. We've done the two Fatha, Tanwin Fatha, An. we did that's lengthening and then kesra, e, double kesra, in. We also did lengthening for e, that's the e. So e, in, e. We did dhamma, o, two dhamma, un. We did lengthening dhamma, that's the oo. And we did sukun. So the sukun. Now on page 60 to 61, we're going to do one of the last symbol you need to learn, and that's called shadda. Shadda is a symbol written like this on top of a letter. It's like a small number 3 looking up. Shadda. What's shadda? What's the meaning of shadda? Shadda actually means to strengthen things, to strengthen something, to make it stronger. Shadda. What's the impact of shadda on a letter? The impact is it makes it stronger, and it's an indication that we have two of the same letter, doubling of a letter. For example, if I say Rabbun, this ba with this symbol shadda on top of it, and then we have the two dhamma there. This shadda is telling me that that ba is actually double ba. The first of that letter is sukun, and the second one will carry whatever the vowel is there. Let's do that. So this rabbu, it is equivalent to this. This is what you actually saying. So two ba. The first ba is sukun. The second one carrying the vowel. So this equal to this, because it's in Arabic where you have the same letter, first of which is carrying sukun, and the second one is carrying a vowel, regardless whether it's fatha, kesra, double fatha, double kesra, dhamma, double dhamma. The second one, so when you have two letters like that in that order, the first is sukun, the second one with a vowel. In Arabic, you're not allowed to write them separately. You need to combine them and then put shadda on top of it to indicate that this particular letter are in two is double. The first has a shadda, has a sukun, the second one is carrying this vowel. So in your pronunciation, that needs to be reflected. I will say rab, as if you are saying rab and then bun. So rab, bun. Bit of pause there, which will indicate sukun. So the sukun is embedded inside that. So rab, bun, rab, bun. This is what you write, but this is what you say. Now, because the first letter is carrying sukun, therefore it follows that you cannot have a shadda with sukun on top of it. It will not happen. So you can have a shadda with fatha on top of it, or two fatha, or sukun or shadda with kasra underneath it, or two kasra. If that's the case, you write shadda and you put the kasra under it, or kasratain. So if if it is Rabbin, for instance, you two do Rabbin. If it is Rabbi, just single, you put there. So the best practice is not to put it here. shadda carrying kasra, that kasra will come below the shadda. But if it is fatha or dhamma, we go on top of it. That's the initial explanation. Let's try and apply that. So I'm going to give you a couple of words here to apply that. In the book, page 60 and 61, plenty that we practice later. So let's start with fatha and shadda. So if I write Sulamun, Sulamun, it's lam now, it's a double lam, first of which is carrying sukun. So there's a sukun embedded within that. Sulamun. Thallajatun, that's lam alif. Thallajatun. Thallajatun. Again, that's his shadda telling me that we have double lam there. Thallajatun. For instance, we say so we have sullamun, thallajatun. Another one, let's say Rabban, for instance. Rabban. Rabban. Again, that ba is a double ba. The first, there's embedded sukun there. Rabban. So sullamun, thallajatun, rabban. Let's start with the dhamma. Rabbuna, for instance, you can say Rabbuna. Rabbuna. Shadda, so it says Rabb, that's double bars embedded there. Rabbuna. Now another, let's say double dhamma, then we in dhamma. Kursiyun. Kursiyun. That's a double ya there. Kursiyun. Kursiyun. So kursiyun. Kursiyun. I put that there for you as an example to let you know that ya can be lengthening sometimes, but it can be an original letter on its own. So kursiyun with shadda there. Kursiyun. Khaddun, another one. Khaddun. So when you see that, you need to really reinforce your pronunciation for that dal or any letter with carrying sukun, carrying shadda. Because shadda, you need to be strengthening the letter. Khaddun. Let's try it now with kasra. Muallimun. 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 Note how I put the kasra under the shadda rather than under the lam here. So when you see anything under the kasra, like under the shadda, which is kasra, it's not fatha. So muallimun. Of course, if you write it like this, we wouldn't say it completely wrong, but now the best practice is to put your kasra under the shadda. Muallimun. So muallimun. Haddin, for instance, haddin. Again, I'm putting the tanween kasra under the shadda rather than putting it here. So try it when you write that, or when you see it, which you will see when you are reading, you will see kasra with shadda. Kasra will be tucked in under the shadda itself rather than under the letter. Okay, so don't confuse that with fatha. It's not fatha because you have something else on top of it. So that's kasra. So sullamun, thallajatun, rabban, rabbuna, kursiyun, خد معلم حد. So to summarize this, before we go and read page 60 and 61 to reinforce the shadda meaning doubling of a letter. Therefore, you need to pronounce that letter more strongly with the emphasis. And it means in the double letters, the first is sukun, the second one carrying the vowel. And that's why we cannot have shadda with sukun on top of it. But shadda can carry fatha, can carry kesra, can carry double vowels. Inshallah, we will go now to page 60 and page 61 to do more reading to reinforce the understanding of shadda. Page 60. On this page, we're going to reinforce what you have already explained regarding shadda, which is a symbol written above a letter to show that that letter has been doubled. And as you know, therefore, the sounds will be stronger. So the first of that double letters will be sukun. So that's why you hear that slight pause to do before you do the second letter. Qattu, qattu, rabbi, rabbi, shakka, shakka, ummun, ummun, khassin, khassin, hurran, hurran, mudarrisun, mudarrisun, musajjalun, musajjalun. The following boxes on page 60, you need to copy each word twice onto the lines provided and then practice reading. Read them aloud to yourself and then compare your reading to mine. Dubbun, dubbun, qubba'atun, qubba'atun, najjarun, najjarun, mahayatun, mahayatun, mikhaddatun, mikhaddatun, darrajatun, darrajatun, mumarridatun, mumarridatun, jazzarun, jazzarun. Page 61. Khassun, khassun, mirashshun, mirashshun, miqassun, miqassun, bittikhun, bittikhun, nadharatun, nadharatun, tuffahatun, tuffahatun, baqqalun, baqqalun, sikkinun, sikkinun, mukhallalun, mukhallalun, rummanun, rummanun, qunnabitun, qunnabitun, sayyaratun, sayyaratun,